As we've seen in a past episode, the sonata form is one of the pillars that traversed different eras of classical music. There's another form that was able to defy time and travel through centuries of music, the minuet. The name minuet comes from the Italian minuetto and from the French minuet. The adjective minuto in Italian means small, delicate. Before being a formal structure of music, the minuet was a dance. The reference in the name is most likely to the very small steps pas menu in French taken in the dance. Hello everyone, I'm Gianmaria Griglio and I welcome you to a new episode of Conducting Pills. If you're new here, this channel is all about classical music, score analysis and conducting tips. I want to thank all of my patrons for making this series possible, and now let's keep going. The minuet was born as a courtly dance were in France in the 1660s at the court of Louis XIV. During his long reign, France became a beacon of fashion, food and art in Europe, and therefore in America. The importance of dance in mankind is gently mocked by one of the greatest French playwrights of the time, Molière. There is nothing so necessary for man as the dance. Without the dance, a man is totally helpless. All man's misfortunes and the appalling disasters of history, the blunders of statesmen and the errors of great generals, they have all occurred for the lack of knowledge of dancing. So Molière remarked in his comédie ballet Les Bourgeois Gentilhommes in 1670. The elegant minuet was transitioned to music at first via Jean-Baptiste Lully, who wrote more than 90 of them for his theatrical works, including the music for Les Bourgeois Gentilhommes. At most social events of the 18th century, the minuet was part of an opening ceremony to commence the dancing. It was also used to publicly establish the social ranks of those present and to impress those who needed to be impressed. While this dance is normally in 3/4 time, among Italian composers, the minuet had often a quicker pace. Sometimes it was within 3/8 or 6/8, and used as the final movement in the Italian overture. The form is rounded binary, with 2 repeated sections of only 8 bars each, at least in the beginning. These sections expanded with time, especially the second one. A section contrasting in key or orchestration would follow, and the first part would then be repeated. Hence the division minuet, trio, we became so accustomed to. The name trio comes from a common practice established around Lully's time to score the middle section for 3 instruments, such as 2 oboes and a bassoon. As it passed through Europe, the minuet was included in the popular instrumental suites of the time, between the end of the 17th century and the first half of the 18th century. Think of Johann Sebastian Bach. His partitas for solo violin include lots of examples. While other dances were dropped from the suites throughout the first half of the 17th century, the minuet managed to keep its popularity, becoming ingrained more and more into larger constructs like the symphony. The minuet and trio became the standard third movement in the 4-movement classical symphony. Violinist and composer Johann Stamitz was first to employ it with a certain regularity in his works. With Beethoven in particular, the minuet acquired a faster pace and turned into a scherzo, literally joke. Mind you, the structure is still rounded binary, with a contrasting trio following the first part and the repetition of the first section after the trio. The main difference is the tempo. While the minuet is solidly in 3, the scherzo has 1 beat per bar. With the Scherzo from his first symphony, Beethoven set a sort of template that would be adopted throughout the entire 19th century and beyond. Gradually, the minuet started to become a nostalgic dance, reminding us of a different time. We can see this in Beethoven's 8th Symphony, for example, and moving forward in Brahms' A minor string quartet, and then in Ravel's Minuet Antique, all the way to Schoenberg, who used minuets in his Serenade Opus 24 and his Suite Opus 25. Why is this important for conductors and more in general for musicians? Well, once again, understanding the history of a particular form gives us background and insight, even at an unconscious level. It helps us establish the feel, the tempo, and the direction of the piece. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button right below this video and ring the bell so that you will be notified every time a new video comes out. For more in-depth analysis, conducting technique, and conducting exercises, look on my website where you can find more than 100 videos, and follow my Facebook group. And if you want to support this series, you're always welcome to do so on Patreon. All the links are in the description. Let me know in the comments what you think about this video and if you have any suggestions for future ones. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of this series. In the meanwhile, please continue to enjoy music and be well.